So this is going to be a bit of an update and a bit of a, who knows, actually, we'll call it a dissociated video. This update comes from mostly Melissa. We've been switching a lot this week and there's been consequences. I've been overworking myself and it's been having consequences on my system, and I've been neglectful of cartoons and team meeting journaling, and I've been so focused, and I think that it was kind of a coping mechanism for me in terms of trying to smush down the PTSD or CPTSD symptoms, and it was working without me really realizing that that's what I was doing. But when I said, when I told myself this is too much, and clearly this is really negligent on everyone else that has to live in this body, they weren't being bitchy to me or anything, but I knew that the cartoons were valuable and I was neglecting it, and it was being expressed that was something that was sad for them. And so I tried to slow down. So I start slowing down in terms of how much work I'm doing, and then all of a sudden, I think that the fact that I had worked myself and everyone so hard, it filtered to or unfiltered, where I was getting more voices, like bits of conversations that didn't make sense, not because they weren't English or French, or because most of us understand French too. Most of us do. So it wasn't that it wasn't in a language that I couldn't understand. It was that it was like out of context. So I would get snippets here and there of someone talking and with each other, and I didn't know what the context was to know what they were saying, and I was getting very overwhelmed at this, because I wasn't used. Like, once in a while I would hear things, and usually it wasn't accidental. Like, I think that they didn't mean for me to hear those things, that it was just that we were just so overworked that things were just not functioning the way that they used to be. And then we were talking online with support groups for DID, and then they were able to talk. Maggie was able to talk, and Skittle, and Katie, and so. And they'd found a place where they could be themselves and they could talk, and I was really glad for them, and I'm still really glad for them. There was the way that was a negative, and I'm trying not to stress too much that that's a negative, because I really want them to be able to talk, so I don't want to make that sound like they really need to stop. I think that I need to find some kind of we need to find some kind of way to make it work for them to be able to communicate with other people and use their voices and express their concerns without it necessarily filtering into everywhere. Because now the problem is, yep, very dissociated. Seattle almost said something. What were we talking? We were talking about how it's filtering. I'm switching more, and we're switching more in in way more contexts. Like, say we have someone going down with ice cream or something, and they have popsicles, and one's blue, and it's amazing because it's blue, and we get so excited, and or just talking to people in general, as if there's any sense that maybe they'd be accepting of DID, then there's a tendency for there to be a series of rapid switching. there was okay, people, if you're gonna say something, just say something instead of just making it weird. Okay. When there's people talking to us, and there's things to respond to, like if Skittle wants to ask, Skittle asked our psychiatrist, I was almost a psychiatrist, if he wants to watch a cartoon, and she was super psyched to ask him if he wanted to watch a cartoon, and then she was telling him about the little blue cartoon boy, and I think Maggie had come out once asking about this professional he was referring us to, and then our psychiatrist, or I suppose mine, if he responds this way, says something like, can I speak to Melissa again? And then Maggie goes away, and then I'm there again, and I'm like, okay, what? And then there's switch, and this was unnerving. It was unnerving for me, and not just me, but also when I can't handle it, Maggie tends to come out. Sorry, we're just dissociating. It's all a thing. It's still Melissa. It was almost Maggie there for a second. Still Melissa. What were we saying? Usually it's Maggie that comes out when... It's almost like when I say her name, she just kind of like, what are you talking about? And I kind of feel her, and then I'm like, what was I talking about? So it makes it... I'd like to shake that right off now there. And I was talking about something, Maggie. If you're gonna say something, say it, otherwise there's just this empty space. So, I have no idea what we were saying, but that's fine. I suppose I may have been drawing it on too long anyways. The general point of videos is that there's a lot of switching going on. And it's really fun because we get to watch cartoons. And there's a little girl inside of a woman, and she says hi. Okay, how does she manage that much excitement? Because it seems like there would be a lot of stress going on. There's a lot of stress going on when there's that much excitement, and she doesn't usually manage to stay out long enough to get that much of this wind out. I'm trying to remember what she said. I don't know, it was almost not there. What did she even say? I'll have to watch it back. I'm gonna edit this anyways. Yeah, there's a lot of switching lately.